So the car market crash of 2025 is well underway. Well, that doesn't bode well for the car market at large. We truly are a sinking ship. A lot of these dealerships are just hoping for a government bailout.
Car industry is in absolute freefall. 1 in 4 dealerships shutting down for good. Prices are out of control, loan rejections are soaring, and buyers have vanished. With 4.2 million vehicles sitting unsold, we're not just looking at a downturn. This is the slow, painful death of America's car market.
You can't go to your local Ford dealership without seeing a huge lineup of unsold Ford Broncos here, between big body examples of Bronco Sports.
The biggest Chevrolet dealership in Phoenix opened back in 1973, had 120 people on payroll, and moved over 2,000 cars a year. 3 generations of the same family ran this place. It was a landmark. Now, they're auctioning off $25,000 worth of diagnostic tools for $1,200 like it's a yard sale. A hydraulic lift that cost $15,000? It went for $800. Even the damn leather chairs from the customer lounge were sold off for pennies. And this isn't some newbie dealer that couldn't handle a bad quarter. This guy survived the oil crisis, the 2008 meltdown, even COVID. He made it through all that. But now he's watching 50 years of legacy vanish because he can't get people to buy a car at any price. Not discounted, not financed, not even begged. He told us point blank, I survived 2008. I survived COVID, but I can't survive customers who refuse to buy cars at any price. We're not talking about a few bad months. We're talking about a complete breakdown of the whole car selling ecosystem. Floor plan financing alone is eating these dealers alive. Some are paying $120,000 a month just to hold inventory that no one wants. These vehicles are sitting around for over 180 days, collecting dust, rotting away. And I know what you're thinking. Wasn't there a massive car shortage just a couple years ago? Yeah. In 2021, dealers couldn't keep cars on the lot. Now in 2025, we've got 4.2 million unsold vehicles just sitting, baking in the sun, not moving, not wanted. And you really want to know how we got here? Let's start with the obvious. Prices have gone absolutely nuclear. Since 2019, MSRP has jumped 42%. That's not inflation. That's extortion with a sticker label. A base model pickup, yes, a base, like the F-150 or Toyota Tacoma, is now pushing over $50,000. You want a decently spec'd truck? Get ready to fork over $85,000. That used to get you a house in the Midwest. Meanwhile, interest rates are straight up predatory. New car loan? You're looking at a 7% average APR. Want a used car instead? Better brace for 11%, maybe even 25% if your credit score sneezes too loud. Banks are straight up rejecting 1 out of every 5 loan applications. And even if you do get approved, what are you signing up for? Try a $761 monthly payment for a new car or $526 if you're going used. Those payments are higher than rent in half the country. And that's not the end of the math nightmare. The average American now owes $7,200 more than what their car is worth. That's called negative equity, and surprise, it's also the exact same amount as the average American's credit card debt. Repossession rates have exploded by 23% year over year. That's not just a blip, that's financial collapse on 4 wheels. And don't even think about a full-size SUV unless you're ready to drop anywhere from 70 to 100 grand for a grocery hauler. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the showroom, inventory. We've got over 3 million new vehicles sitting around in the US, unsold. That's a 120% increase since 2023. And we're not talking about last-gen models here. These are 2025 cars. Meanwhile, dealers are still buried in leftover 2023s and 2024s. That's how fast the market died. Dealerships are literally turning away new deliveries because they can't sell what they've already got. It's like trying to bail out a sinking ship with a coffee mug. And these vehicles, they're not moving for a reason. Ford Broncos, Jeep Wranglers, Toyota Tundras, Ram trucks, these things are sitting on lots for 220 to 460 days. That's up to a year and a half just sitting there. And the dealers aren't just ignoring them, they're actively begging the manufacturers to stop sending more. That's how bad it is. Then we've got the EV collapse. Remember Rivian and Lucid? Their stock is down 55% and 48% respectively in 1 year. Ford is practically giving away F-150 Lightnings. We're talking 20 grand off plus 0% APR and still nobody's taking them. EVs are now officially that weird kid at the lunch table. No one wants to sit next to them. Why? Because they're unreliable. Charging stations are a joke, and software issues are turning these things into rolling headaches. People don't trust EVs anymore. And it's not just the startups taking the hit. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, all of them are choking on unsold inventory. Some have slashed prices and still can't move metal. Even their certified pre-owned programs are frozen because there's too much supply and not enough demand. And here's where things go from bad to comically catastrophic. Dealerships aren't just struggling, they're basically bleeding out on the showroom floor. You know, things are dire when a brand new car with a $28,000 sticker is being sold for $19,500, and the dealer is still losing $3,000 per unit. They're not trying to turn a profit anymore. They're just trying to stay alive long enough to make it to next month's bank payment. Because that's where the real killer is, floor plan financing. These guys are paying $3,000 to $4,000 a day just to keep unsold vehicles parked on their lots. That adds up to over $90,000 a month, and that's before they've sold a single car. The math doesn't just hurt, it burns. Imagine selling 150 cars a month like clockwork, then suddenly barely managing to move 20 or 30. Welcome to the new normal. Desperation is pushing dealers into some pretty creative and honestly kind of shady territory. One trick? They're registering brand new cars, as used with 2 miles on the odometer, just to dodge MSRP restrictions. Technically legal? Sure. Ethically questionable? Absolutely. Some are turning showroom space into service bays because fixing old cars is now more profitable than selling new ones. Others are rolling out employee pricing for everyone campaigns like it's some grand act of generosity. Spoiler, it's not. It's survival. Even the once hallowed dealership markup is dead. Banks won't finance a penny over invoice anymore unless the buyer walks in with a suitcase of cash. That whole era of market adjustment stickers tacked onto hot new models, gone. Even fan-favorite trims like the Toyota TRD Pro and Jeep Rubicon are getting slashed like they're on clearance racks, $4,000, $10,000, $22,000 off. It's basically a fire sale with leather seats. And yet, some of these dealerships are still holding out hope that Uncle Sam is going to swoop in with a cape and a bailout package, as if the government hasn't already seen this movie. Newsflash? There's zero indication that a bailout is coming. None. But sure, let's keep pretending. Meanwhile, the collapse isn't staying neatly inside the dealership walls. It's spilling into factories, small towns, entire states. Ford, they've cut production by 35%. GM, idling plants. Stellantis, they've tossed 15,000 workers overboard already. Nissan plans to slash 9,000 more globally. And Volkswagen, they're not playing around. They're planning over 35,000 layoffs by 2030. That's not trimming fat. That's amputating limbs. The parts plant in Ohio that's been operating since 1987. They made door handles, window regulators, the stuff that literally keeps cars together. It employed 800 people. That plant is shutting down because there's no demand. No new cars being sold means no parts being needed. It's not rocket science. It's just tragic economics. Toyota, for all its global muscle, isn't immune either. They outsourced Tacoma and Tundra production to Mexico to save 80% on labor costs. Still couldn't sell them. Even with discounts between $6,000 and $8,000, those trucks are sitting unsold for 150 to 250 days. If you can't sell a discounted Toyota truck in America, you've officially broken the matrix. In Michigan, unemployment is rising faster than anywhere else in the country. Detroit, the so-called Motor City, is getting hit with its second automotive apocalypse in just 15 years. And let's not forget the towns built around these factories, places where the auto plant was the town. With the plants shutting down, these towns are hollowing out. The diner closes, the school budget gets slashed, property values sink, it's economic Jenga, and someone just yanked the bottom block. And then there's the pension domino. State employees, teachers, unions, they've all got their retirement money tied up in auto bonds. If dealerships and manufacturers go bankrupt, it won't just be job loss, it'll be retirement loss. It's not just the present that's crumbling. The future's on fire too. And according to Dr. Sarah Chen, an analyst who's been studying this industry for 2 decades, this isn't a blip or a market correction. It's the end of mass car ownership in America. She's not saying it lightly either. The numbers back her up. Vehicle sales are projected to fall 60% over the next 3 years. 40% of dealerships, gone, permanently. Manufacturer bankruptcies, likely. Let that sink in. Consumers have already started adapting. Car sharing is up 300%. Scooter and motorcycle sales are rising. And instead of buying a new car every few years, people are sticking with their old vehicles for as long as humanly possible. Forget that 10-year-old minivan with 180,000 miles. It's now a golden chariot. Before dealerships finally throw in the towel, a lot of them will start selling at 10 to 15% below invoice. Take a $50,000 truck with a $44,000 invoice, they'll be unloading it for $38,000 just to stay ahead of the bank. Not to build loyalty, not to attract future customers, just to survive another week. And the final twist in all this? The same pandemic-era greed that got us here, the markups, the forced upgrades, the price hikes, has come back to bite, hard. This isn't just another downturn. It's the system cracking open, piece by overpriced piece. If this surprised you, hit that subscribe button. Do you think there's still a way to turn this around before more giants follow?